Today we're going to be looking at two-step equations. So we're going to continue to use the things that, to remember when solving an equation. And remember that is to draw a fence, to draw a box on each side of the fence, one box for letters and one box for numbers. Decide if a number is negative or positive by looking at the future. When going over the fence, a positive number becomes a negative and a negative becomes a positive. And then get rid of the number in the letter box. You either need to multiply or divide. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by looking at a couple of examples here. So our first example is going to be, change the color here, 8n plus 7 equals 31. Now my first step, remember, is to draw my fence. So there's my fence. I'm going to go ahead and put my boxes in. So I have my letter box, and I'm just going to use an L for that, and a number box, just so I remember which is which. And again, if the thing is on the same side, all I have to do is drop it down. Since the 8n is on the same side as my letter box, I'm just going to drop that 8n in. Okay? Same with the 31. Since it's on the same side of the fence with the number box, I'm just going to drop 31 in. Now the 7, I do have to go across my fence, as you can see, and so I have to do the opposite, which if I look to the future, it is a positive right now. So I do have to make it a negative 7 when going across that fence. Then I have 31 minus 7, which gives me, let's see, 20, hang on, let me use my calculator real quick. It's not coming to my head. So 31 minus 7 is 24. Okay, so that's my number, that's my new number that I am dealing with now, is 24. Now remember, if I look back up here, my next step is to get rid of the number in the letter box. So I either have to multiply or divide that number. Since it looks like it's side by side, I have to divide on this one. So I'm going to divide by 8. So 24 divided by 8 is going to give me 3. So n is going to equal 3. Let's go ahead and take a look at another one. Negative 9x minus 13 equals negative 103. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with my fence. Draw my fence in. Put my boxes in. One's going to be my letter box. One's going to be my number box. Okay, and I'm ready to drop some things in. Since this negative 9x is on the same side as the letter box, I'm just going to drop it in. And notice that it still stays negative 9x. I did not change anything on that. The 103 is on the same side as the number box, so I'm just going to drop it in. And this 13, which is a negative because I am looking to the future, goes across the fence and becomes a positive 13. Then I need to take negative 103 plus 13, and I get negative 90. Now I'm back at that spot where I need to get rid of that negative 9, and again, it looks like a multiply because I have a letter next to a number, so I need to actually divide that negative 9. And I do go ahead and just divide by that negative 9. So negative 90 divided by negative 9 ends up being 10. Okay, let's take a look at another one. It's going to look a little bit different. So we're going to do m. Let me change it. It was a really weird m. Over 9, subtract 1, equals negative 2. So I'm going to put my fence, put my boxes, put my letter, put my number, drop things in. So this is the same size as my letter box, so I'm going to drop this in, drop this in, switch my signs, and it is a negative 1, so it becomes a positive 1. Combine those two numbers together, so negative 2 plus 1 gives me negative 1. Now this time it is a divide. We're looking at a divide part. So if it looks like a letter over a number, I need to multiply that number. So I'm going to multiply by 9. So multiply by 9, and I get -9 for n. Okay, we're going to take a look at one more, and this is just to show you that no matter what side the letter is on, it will work either way. So let's do 8 plus b over -4. Let me change that. Let's do 5 equals 8 plus 4 over -4. Okay, so I'm still going to go ahead and draw my fence. I am going to go ahead and put my letter box in my number box. Now this time, since my letters are all on the right side, I'm going to go ahead and put my letters over here, and that means my other box has to be my number box. And then it's just going to simply work the same way as what we've been doing. So I'm going to drop the 4 or the b over -4 in. I'm going to drop the 5 in. I'm going to switch that over, and because it's a positive, it's going to become a negative. So 5 minus 8 is -3, and then I do have to multiply it by -4 because it is a divide. So my final answer ends up being 12. B equals 12.